Hi, welcome back to another edition of Free Exchange of Ideas. I had to change from that window because the sun's really coming in and it just whited out my face and my beard and didn't look great. So anyway, oh, you know what? Let me run back and get this then. I can get my notes real fast. I'm going to discuss Mr. Gavin Newsom and Mr. Ron DeSantis's, uh, let's just call it a debate. I think that's what they called it. They were wrong. Although I got to say, for once, Mr. Hannity did a great job with graphic, and his group, I'm sure, did a great job with graphics to refute almost everything that Gavin Newsom said. And that's kind of important because nobody else is doing that. This was the first time a Democrat stood in front of a absolute Republican partisan interviewer and got spanked for it. I'm sure he thought he was going to make good points. Ron DeSantis, amazingly enough, didn't win either, but looked much better in the debates that were just held last night. By the way, today is December 7. Happy Pearl Harbor Day, I guess. I never know how to, do something like that. But, always remember Pearl Harbor. How about that? That'll do. So these are notes. I have these 2 pages and this 3rd page here, and that's not everything. There was just so much. I don't want to, really overdo this or oversell it. I don't think I have to oversell this, especially if you're a Republican or you just can't stand Mr. Newsom. So one of the first things I want to mention here is the Biden administration has so many ex-California politicians in it that it is obvious that they want to follow the California model. The California model is citizens don't mean shit. We get every penny we can out of them, and then some. And then we tell them they don't need new roads. They don't need a new car. They don't need a nice house or a home. You can't afford the rent here. You don't need to live here. You can live on the streets. We don't mind if you poop. It doesn't matter. So let's just go with this. Julie Su is the acting Secretary of Labor. Previously, she was the same in California. Kamala Harris, VP. She was DA in San Francisco. She was acting Attorney General under Newsom, and then ran for president. Got absolutely crushed in the Iowa primary. The Iowa caucuses. She did not get one vote. Literally spent her bank there, and nobody gave a shit. And I don't know what she did wrong there because I didn't follow her there. I honestly didn't expect to have to follow her for a couple of more runs because I thought, people that don't know her outside of California, she's a pretty face. She's an intelligent woman, although she certainly doesn't look like that right now. I thought she would go a little bit further, but I was really happy to see that she got spanked that early. I was absolutely surprised and flabbergasted that Biden had chosen her as his running mate. Go figure. Javier Becerra, he was the district attorney, or not district attorney, California State's attorney under Gavin Newsom. Alejandro Mayorkas, he is Secretary of Homeland Security. He was a U.S. attorney in Central California. And Douglas Parker, I didn't know this guy, but he is the Assistant Secretary of Labor of OSHA, and he was the Secretary of Cal OSHA 2019 to 2021. Those 5 people alone, you'll never find that kind of nepotism in any other administration, where they just yanked from one state and just pulled some obviously lefty people. So let's go right to the debate. I hate to use that word because they didn't debate. They yelled at each other. They spoke over each other. Newsom lied like a rug. So let's just kind of get into that. One of the first things they talked about was the California exodus. Let's see. So Newsom first just refused to answer the question at all. on California exodus. And even when he did, he went so far as to assert that more moved from Florida to California rather than California to Florida. And that is absolutely wrong. And again, Hannity had a graphic for that. The difference between the two is that 50,000 plus moved to Florida than California, just the overall numbers across the nation. However, from 2019 to 2022, 1,044,000 losses in California. They left California, and we even lost a seat in the House, in the U.S. House of Representatives, because we lost so many people. The opposite, let's see, 730,000 moved to Florida from California in the last 3 years that we have lost population. But since inception, since the inception of the state, we've gained population every year. But the last 3 years, downhill, going the other way. And not just lost people. We lost enough people to lose a seat in the House. That's like 750,000 people, just that seat. Okay, so we are leading the nation. We're number one in exodus, population losses. Number two, handling of COVID-19. If you're in California or the western states, you already know this because we locked the state down in March. Locked it down. Businesses, people who own businesses couldn't go to work. Restaurants couldn't open. Schools closed, except for private schools. Newsom's kids all went to school in a very expensive private school. Airports and airlines, because of travel restrictions, lost money. Every one of them lost money in the state of California for 4 years. Actually, 3. 2020 to 2023, the state was locked down till March of 2023. So almost exactly 3 years. So we had the most draconian and longest lasting lockdown of any state in the union. One out of 50. We're number one out of 50 states. Florida is ranked third, getting kids back to school. They did it in like 3 months or 6 months. It was like stupid quickly. And California ranked 50th because we didn't let them go back to school until this year, basically. Let's see. I got a couple other things. Oh, Governor Newsom in Politico, I think this was 2 years ago, said, "We would have done everything differently. Excessive," I'm sorry, this is my writing and it's horrible. Exceeding the national average. October 1, 2021, California was the first state to impose a student vaccine mandate. That's all students from elementary school through high school. And all grades, public and private, without exception for religion or personal beliefs. All grades, public and private. Boasted of being the first one to do this. 2 years later, in 2023, he rescinded the order without it ever being implemented. That's important because, I mean, he thought he was the bee's knees. Oh, yeah, we're going to give everybody the shot. And never did. Never did. Let's see. Third, homelessness. I love homelessness, especially in the state of California, where they can, in a lot of the cities, shoot up right there on the street, right next to where they poop and pee, and you have to walk through it. San Francisco is not the only city that did this, or that is in this situation. So Newsom said he spent unprecedented resources and has gotten 68,000 people off the streets. The first one is absolutely true. They have spent an exorbitant amount of money, allegedly trying to fix this issue. California spent $20 billion on homelessness over the last 5 years. Homelessness has gotten worse, not better. 68,000 is literally a drop in the bucket of the level of homelessness we have. Uh, it has increased 15 times faster. Homelessness has increased 15 times faster than the rest of the U.S. as a whole. Half of all homeless are in California now. 171,000 in California, 25,000 in Florida. Who's doing the job right now? Number 4, education. Newsom claims California outperformed Florida 4th grade reading, 8th grade math. California spends 45% more per pupil, K through 12, than does Florida. California has the lowest literacy rate in the U.S. We are ranked number 50. 800 California schools, 75% of the students in those 800 schools read below grade level. Now, my wife pointed out to me last night when I told her that, because we were actually watching something on the news about that. And I said, yeah, 75% in 800 schools. And she says, well, we have an enormous influx of kids, K through 12, that don't speak English when they get here. And so their literacy rate is going to be quite low, basically zero, until they learn the language. I said, okay, but I don't know how much they're counted in that as their aliens. But I don't know. That could be true. I don't know that it matters in this number, because that's also Governor Newsom's issue. We are a sanctuary state, quoted in I don't know how many news articles and TV stories. California is a sanctuary state. We will take any immigrant, no matter what. We will give them Medicaid. We will give them not green card, food stamps. We will give them money. Come on in. He actually fought President Bush. Jesus. He fought President Trump on the border wall in California. So there is no border wall in California. It literally starts at the Arizona border and moves eastward. So back to education. 8th grade reading, number 50 out of 50. 4th grade reading, third worst, number 47 out of 50. Fifth, gas prices. The average, according to, I think it's AAA, is $3.56 across the nation. In California, yesterday I got gas. Now, I go to 7-Eleven, so I get 11 cents off, whatever their regular is. But I still spent over $30, $40, over $40 for 8 gallons. It's over it's without my discount, it's over $4.50 a gallon, and that's not the only gas station that is running at that. And where I live is a medium-sized town, and the one north of me where I get the gas is only a little bit larger than us population-wise. But you go to San Francisco, and it will be hard to find anything under $5. Anything under $5 per gallon. It's insane. It's stupid. He said Californians are being ripped off. And he's right. We are being ripped off. But not by the oil companies. There are so many fees and so many things going on. Yes. So many things going on that fees and what do you call them? I think I wrote it down. Regulations. Fees and regulations on gas production. In California, we have 2 different blends of gasoline, the summer blend and the winter blend. And the summer blend is supposed to be better for the environment, better for the air quality, because it's a cleaner blend. I don't know why they can't just make that the whole year long, but we actually go back to the older blend in the wintertime when we're not traveling as much, allegedly. So Let me go to here. California has the highest gas prices of any state, and the highest gas taxes. Currently, $1.58 above the national average. Uh, the highest tax, the highest regulation, the highest fees than any state in the nation. We're being ripped off by our own government. They don't care about you. The only people they care about, people, and I mean by individuals, I'm not talking groups. The only people they care about spend money on their election campaigns. If you make or have $1 billion and you can drop $100,000 or $200,000 in one of their off-site uh, PACs, they love you to death. They will give you whatever you want. Just ask Sam Walton. Just ask Costco. Just ask, you know, the only one I've ever seen them fight with, and that was Governor Newsom fighting with, was Elon Musk. And Elon Musk said, "Really? That's the way you want to play it? See ya." Took his headquarters and moved it to Texas. Took his gigafactory and moved it to Nevada. He makes another one in Texas. He said, "I don't need California. As a matter of fact, as soon as I can, we'll move out of Fremont." He hasn't done it yet, but I think because he likes California. I mean, I don't blame him. I like California. California's probably where he makes his most sales outside of China. But nonetheless, Newsom said, no, we want to charge you additional taxes, blah, 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 for the gigafactory for your world headquarters. And he said, piss off. Pretty much what he told the advertisers for X. I'm not going to say the other thing. So, number 6, taxes. The tax burden for the average Californian is higher than any place else in the nation. For the average Californian, I'm below average. My taxes are still pretty stupid high. Now, the tax burden per person in California is about $10,000, $10,167. The tax burden per person in Florida is about half that, which is $5,406. Does Florida have better roadways? Does Florida have more things to do? Does Florida have, as much stuff as California? Pretty much. I mean, the only thing that they don't have is, like, really, truly the tech. Silicon Valley and Los Angeles Valley Basin area, there's a lot of tech there. There's not that much tech in Florida. But I don't see why that makes their tax burden lighter than ours. Should make it heavier, right? Because the tech people would be should be spending a good portion of their money that they're not spending here because they're not being charged for it. Nonetheless. All right, so, so for the working class, California has the 3rd highest cost of living, 3rd worst inequality, highest poverty rate in U.S. in 2022. California lost wage growth. It didn't go up, it went down. Number 6, the economy, one of my favorite topics. Newsom said national unemployment rate is a sign of a good economy. California has the 2nd highest unemployment rate in the U.S. See, so he didn't even answer the question. He talked about the national numbers, which aren't that great, to be honest. They just readjusted October and November down for money that people make and for how many people are actually employed. So I don't know why they give us that number right away and then they always downgrade it. I've never seen them upgrade it, or at least not that I recall. Number 6, the economy. I apologize. We're still in economy. I looked up. Okay, so 2nd highest rate in the U.S. for unemployment. Since January of 2018, employment increased 1,031,000 in Florida. It decreased in California by 81,000. Why? We're bigger. We have more shit. We have more work to do. Why did ours go down? Because people were leaving. And a lot of people don't want to go back to work as a waitress or whatever. It doesn't really matter. 71% expect poor economics over the next 12 months in California. I don't think that's the number in Florida. Here we go to page 3, the last thing. So just a few months. Uh, oh, right. So just a few months ago, before before he was uh, called for impeachment, it failed, but nonetheless, just a few months before that, he said we had $1 billion surplus. Surplus. That means we had too much money. They'd taken too much money from the citizens of the state of California and the businesses, that we had $1 billion surplus. Now, currently, we have a $31.5 billion deficit. How do you spend that level of cash? Bullet train. That's one way to spend it. Paying people who are not citizens food stamps, welfare, rent, those kind of things. Now, do I hate those people? Hell no. I understand. If I lived there, I'd be trying to get here too. But you have to put in the effort, meaning you have to find the reason to move here. And if you can't move here because you're not being, I can't think of the word, I apologize, but you're not being crushed by your own government, you just want to have a better opportunity, save that. But we have a line for that. We have a line for the other as well. But nobody seems to care. Not right now. Certainly not Biden and his ilk. Border crisis. Newsom claimed it's Congress's fault, not Biden's fault. Although on day one, when Biden got into office, he took the money away from the border wall that Trump was building, which is not a wall, but it's better than nothing. So first thing he did. And in California, we don't even have that. We don't even have that ability to block them, to make a physical block. I don't even know why they run through the border crossing. Just go 20 minutes down the road and you can cross through the fucking desert. Nobody knows you're there. Okay. From 2014 to 2020, Border Patrol had 100,000 encounters. I think it's monthly. Under the Biden administration, they've had 29 straight months of greater than 100,000 persons encounters. 29 straight months. Now, they only had 4 months in that same period, 2014 to 2020. There was only 4 months that were greater than 100,000 encounters. Only 4 of those 6 years, 4 months. I don't know what to say about that. I think that speaks for itself. 2018, Newsom said, "Let me be clear, California is a sanctuary state." He was adamant about it. He thinks he's the bee's knees. Let's see. We defied and resisted Trump policies at every turn, and we will do it again. There were 3 things he did. First was the border wall. He told Trump to piss off. You're not building a border wall in my state. And you can't build it in Mexico, so you're screwed. And then he stole money from the people of California and bought Chinese PPE, which was covered in COVID. That was brilliant. And then the third thing, he just resisted Trump like at every turn. Trump could do no right in his eyes, and he wasn't making any effort to make anything go well. Let's see. Newsom signed into law closing ICE detention centers that was overturned by the Ninth Circuit of all God-forsaken court systems. The Ninth Circuit as unconstitutional. Can you imagine that? The Ninth Circuit said something that the state of California did is unconstitutional. That's the first time I can clap for them. That's the first time in my lifetime that I remember I can clap for the Ninth Circuit getting something right. That's it. That's all my notes. So this is what I can say. There was a lot more, especially in that debate. And there's a lot more that Newsom does just on a daily basis that I can't keep up with. But this is already running 25 minutes, and I really don't want to hold you over any longer than that if I can avoid it. So listen, if you like this, I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you checking me out. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you get all of my content whenever I put it up. I just I cannot live in the United States if Newsom becomes the governor. I will absolutely leave the nation because I can't trust him. I mean, becomes president. I can't trust him to tell me the sky is blue in the middle of the day when there's no clouds. I I trust him as far as I can throw the entire Capitol building. I can't even lift it. I can barely lift me. All right, so that's all I got, babies. Remember, even fluffy bunnies have teeth and claws for a reason. Live long, fight hard, win the day. See ya!